only composed 500 years ago. Everyone knows, right? By Rabbi Shlomo El-Kabetz. He was at the same time as Maran Shulchan Aruch. He lived he was there. He moved to the city of Tzafat, and that's where he's buried. He's buried next to Rabbi Yosef Karo and the Ari Kadosh. They were all at the same time. He's the one that composed this beautiful, beautiful song. Before that, how would people do it? Like he says in the Gemara. We mentioned it. Rabbi Yehuda Bar Ilai would say, Bo'ik Allah, Bo'ik Allah. He would greet the queen Shabbat. That's what they would do. And it says, Ari Kadosh, he would take his students and they would go out. They would go out facing east. Because, am I right? That's where the sun sets. No, the sun sets in the west. Am I right? Am I getting confused? The sun. Oh, so let me tell you. Very good, excellent. The sun rises on the east and it sets on the west. Correct? Now that you mentioned it, thank you. It says that the Ari Kadosh would take his students and they will go out to the field and face the west as if to greet Shabbat. Why? Because that's where the sun sets. That means that Shabbat is coming from where as soon as the sun will set, that's where the Shabbat is coming in. It's all symbolic. So you face west to greet the Shabbat. Okay? So far so good? Beautiful. Something very interesting. In Iran, everybody would pray. They were always facing west. All the shuls were facing west because they were facing Israel. Right? So we were facing west all the time. When you're accepting Shabbat also, anyway, you're facing west. Right? But when people moved to England, to America, so they're facing east when they're praying. They're facing towards Eretz Yisrael when they're praying. So Persian shuls, they kept it. We face whatever way it is we're facing when we're praying. We're praying now east towards Eretz Yisrael. We keep praying west. So when you sing Kabbalat Shabbat, also keep praying facing east. Correct? Right? But many shuls, they say, listen, that's not the idea. The whole idea is where the sun sets, not where Eretz Yisrael is. So that's why they turn around in the shuls, because they want to face west. You see where that comes from? That hence the confusion. It's only in the Persian shuls. That some face east, some face west, it's a confusion. This is where it comes from. The whole thing really is not really such a big deal. Persian, because we lived in Persia, and in Iran, everybody was facing anyway west, towards Eretz Yisrael. Iraq also, Morocco no, Morocco is in the west. Morocco, Algeria, Libya, and Tunisia, and Egypt, they have to face east, just like America. Iraq, Iran, Syria, India, Jews in Afghanistan, in Kafkaz, all the Jews in that area, they would be facing west. Anyway, it's very interesting how it happened. So now you go, not bowing down, just facing. Bowing down. You don't have to bow. You just face. You say Bo'ik Allah. Now, so what do we do? First, it's not really bowing down. You just go like this, to the right first, then to the left, then forward. That's how we do. Look, all of this is a custom. You don't have to, right? Rabbi Shlomo El-Kabetz had a huge zechut that this lachadodi took off. It's incredible. Most communities, they say he's a song. It's an incredible zechut. It's not like, it's just a song. Sure. Right. At home, easily turn west and do it. Yes. That's the best way. That's the best way to do it. In shul, this is where I'm getting at. You go to a shul, and they are facing regular east, Eretz Yisrael. And they don't turn west when it comes to Haggadah. Don't do it, because you need to be the same as everyone in the shul. Especially regarding this, it's not a big deal. Definitely, otherwise one guy facing this way, one guy facing that way, that's not correct. Or obviously a shul is doing it right. He says, no, I'm gonna keep the custom of Iran. I'm going to purposely face Eretz Israel. Oh, it has nothing to do with facing Israel. You facing sunset, where the sun sets. That's all. But but no, he wants to stick to it. It's not nice. It's not right. The whole shul is turning around. You're not turning around. Hello, doesn't make sense. The person says, Gemara says, Al tehi yosher ben ha'omdim. Don't be sitting amongst the people that are standing. Al tehi omed ben ha'yoshvim. Don't be standing when everyone is sitting. Meaning to say, when it comes to such things, it's not. It doesn't make sense for a person to be like this adamant, like, oh, I gotta do it like that. Anyway, that's just a simple thing. So we say Boik Allah to the right, Boik Allah to the left, then Boik Allah to the middle. The third one, Makubalim say it quietly. Quietly, right? We say Boik Allah, the other one we say it quietly. Right? Because I said it quietly. The third one we should say it quietly. Right? That's, look, all of this again, I'm not saying it has to be like that. These are nice things, good things, when we were praying to do this. Now, the Shaliach Tzibur has to be very careful. If he sees it's getting very late, he shouldn't show off his singing talents too much. It's not right. It's not right. People, especially in the summer, people are tired. They want to go home, and you are standing there doing your extended version. Do it nice. Do it definitely. There is this very, very, very special thing, especially according to Kabbalah, that the tefillot of Shabbat should be done through singing. Very special. It's an extremely important thing, but you need to weigh the situation. Sometimes do quicker songs, so that everyone will enjoy. At the same time, you're not pressuring. When there's time in the winter, there's time. You're done. 5 o'clock, you're done already. Where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? Then if people don't mind and they would love to hear the Shaliach Tzibur, perfect, excellent. Now, the custom is that we stand. Sephardim, we don't have to stand up for Baruch Hu. We don't have to stand up for Kaddish. You know that, right? Baruch Hu, they're saying Baruch Hu et Hashem HaMavarach, and you want to answer Baruch Hashem HaMavarach Ha'olam Va'ed. The custom of Sephardim is not to stand. If you're in an Ashkenazi shul, they all stand. And we should stand when we're Ashkenazi shul. Ashkenazim, they stand up for Kaddish. We should stand. No. In Sephardi shuls, we don't. If you want to stand, you could. So we don't stand. It's our custom is we don't stand. Ashkenazi shuls, the custom is to stand. And if everybody is standing, again, don't be sitting while everybody's standing. We should. And none of them are standing, then you could sit. Because there's 10, 15 people at least. It depends on how big the shul is. If the shul is 1,000 people, and you have 970 people standing, and you're only 30, it's not nice. Right. You won't lose by standing, for sure. Yes. And it's better. It's definitely more correct. When they're all standing, we should stand. I went to yeshiva Ashkenazi yeshiva all my life, and what did we do? I asked the great Gedolim, Chacham Etzion and others, and they said you should stand for sure. I asked them a lot of things, like how to what to do, and this was one of them that they said. Now, although we always sit, we always remain seated by Kaddish, there's a halakha. Let me just tell you off the side. If you're standing up and they start Kaddish, you can't sit down. Right? If you're already standing up and they said you'd get dal like that, then you have to remain standing until after you answer Yeheh Shemeh Rabbah, then you could sit. That's the kavod, kavod for the Kaddish is an extremely, extremely, extremely strong and important prayer, Kaddish. And if a person is sitting, you're sitting. But if you're standing, then don't sit. Give it that respect. That's what's brought down in the halacha. Ashkenazim, because it's such an important tefillah, that's why they stand up to give it that respect. We Sephardim, we never had that custom, so we don't. But if you're already standing, then don't sit. Answer. Yeah, for sure. It's extremely, extremely powerful and extremely important. That's not more than okay. That's what's supposed to be. You're supposed to answer amen. That's another thing. Unfortunate that it's brought down the different sefarim that the shul people in the congregants that are saying kaddish, they have to definitely synchronize to say together. That shows unity. That's one thing. Another thing is that's why it's such a terrible sin, let's call it, to talk during Kaddish, because they're saying one of the highest praises of Hashem. And the person who talks, they're saying that I don't care about that praise of Hashem. It's a horrible sin. A person has to, be very careful with this. Okay, let's just go back to what we're saying. Friday night, before Baruch Hu, if you happen to be in shul, even if you're in a Sephardi shul, everyone stands for that Kaddish. The Kaddish before Baruch Hu Hashem HaMevorach of Arvit. We all stand. Why? Because you're accepting that added ruach that comes to a person during that Baruch Hu. So for the Kaddish already, we stand. If you go to Sephardi shuls, you get, hey, what happened? We don't usually stand. What's going on? Everybody's standing. That's the reason why they're standing. Okay? Another little thing, and with this we'll end. Everybody's familiar with the pasuk. Everybody's familiar. What is this? This is a very strong pasuk. It's a very strong pasuk. Chachamim teach us, this is more in Kabbalah, there are 4 negative powers in the world that, God forbid, they are sent, especially at night, to do not good things. Let's call it, okay? Not good things, right? They could damage. They are called Af, Chema, Avon, and Mashchit. These are the 4 things. This pasuk of Vehu Rachum Yechaper Avon was one of them. Velo Yashchit, that's opposite Mashchit. Velo Yaikol Hamato is Chama. And the other one, Vehu Rachum Yechaper Avon, Velo Yashchit, Ve'ibol Hashiv Apo. Af is the third one, Avon is the last one. So this pasuk subdues these negative powers. That's why at night, before they start Arvit, they say this pasuk. Because this pasuk, what does it do? It subdues those negative powers. I once heard from Rabbi Ovadia, he says, you say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Check this out. The first word is Shema. The last word is Echad. Okay? You take the shin out, you take the dalet out, that's shed. Those are negative powers. Right? No, shed. Shed is demons. Right? What are we left with? Mem, Ayin, Aleph, Chet. Mem is Mashchit, Ayin is Avon, Aleph is Af, and Chet is Chama. Thank you. You're right on the ball. So those 4 letters are opposite those 4 negative powers as well. So he says when you sing Shema also, you're subduing those negative powers. It's interesting. All of that, nice and good. So we understand why we should say that pasuk at night. And it's so powerful. Friday night, you don't need to. Because Friday night has that strength that once Shabbat enters, all of this judgment goes away. It's incredible. That's why Friday night we don't say V'Oracham. Every night before Arvit we say it. Friday night we don't. Because those judgments that come to punish, they are removed. Because we're careful at Shabbat, these judgments go away because it's such a holy day, such a strong holy day. That's why this happens. That's why we are safe. What you're doing by honoring Shabbat, by keeping the Shabbat, by doing that, you're pretty much guardians of the galaxies. That's what you are. Baruch Hashem. May the Zechut Shabbat be Magen for all of us.